Hey everyone, Andrew Kasper here. It's just Mrs. Jurkiewicz watching this. Hi Mrs. Jurkiewicz. If I'm on your screen right now, it's probably because I'm here for my SSR project. So it's time for a book review. I chose a book called Supermarket by Bobby Hall. Some of you may know him by Logic, Grammy and award-winning rapper and artist. Now you may be thinking, isn't this book just going to be about him and be kind of like a personal memoir? That's where you would be wrong. The book is actually a realistic fiction novel that takes place in a small town supermarket in Baker City, Oregon. The story has two conflicts, person versus person and person versus self. For person versus person is Flynn versus the other people that he works with, like his boss and his girlfriend Mia. And also he has person versus self, where he fights his inner mind thoughts, like Frank. The story follows Flynn, the protagonist. Flynn is a normal 20-year-old man who tells the story from his inner thoughts in his diary. After being recently dumped, he is a mess, depressed, and has little motivation to try to get a publisher to notice his writing ability. However, one day, a publisher meets with him and agrees to contract him to write a book. Looking for inspiration, Flynn gets a job at the local supermarket. Here, he meets many different characters like Red, an old man who plays chess by himself, Becky, an irritable cashier, Joe, a man obsessed with coffee. Oh, most important are these two people, Mia, a fellow worker who Flynn's falls in love with, and Frank, an employee who doesn't care about his job. He becomes the eventual antagonist and main character of Flynn's story. During this time in the supermarket, Flynn becomes very attracted and eventually starts dating Mia. But Frank also tries to get in a relationship, but instead of him asking someone out, he asks Flynn to ask the girl, Becky, out on the date. Flynn gets his number and gets it to Frank. During one late night of writing, Flynn's room is barged in by Mia, who is outraged. She accuses Flynn of cheating on him because she saw him getting Becky's number. However, while he's trying to prove his innocence, she won't believe him. In a last effort, he calls Frank's. Frank answers, and screaming, Flynn tells him to explain everything which happened with Mia. He hands the phone to Mia, ready for Frank to explain everything and all of his problem to go away. But there is no call. It is just a dead line. She storms out, sobbing. Instead of feeling sad, he becomes even more obsessed with the finishing of his book. He writes out the final scene, the great robbery. He writes how Frank breaks windows, smashes food, and destroys the property of the supermarket. He even makes his way to the safe in the security room and opens it up. There lies $200,000 for his taking. And like that, his novel is finished. He even becomes so immersed with the ending of his story, he dresses like Frank during the great robbery scene. The next day, he walks into work, but something horrible has happened. Just like in his story, the supermarket was also robbed. Two years have now passed. Flynn is now in a psychiatric hospital after the great incident. He's suffering from
schizophrenia,
a disorder where a person has mixed realities, where Frank is in his mind, but is actually not in real reality. Will Flynn kill Frank, his antagonist in his mind, win back Mia, and finally get his book published? To avoid spoilers, I'm going to end it here, just in case you want to read this book. While reading through the story, I found 3 reasons why I should highly recommend this story to others. 1. It has a different writing style, which uses character dialogue and Flynn's personal thoughts combined to show a whole new perspective on his life and on the entire story. 2. It is also based on Bobby's personal experiences with being bipolar, having depression, and having anxiety. 3. Finally, it is unlike other celebrity books, as this book is entirely fiction and not based on Logic himself. I'd like to thank you all for watching.